to teach you how to make this no-sew little journal book. It is super cute, and it's something that everybody would love making. You've got a pocket here. You've got pages with pockets in them. And each one of these pages, there's 3 in here. Each one is a pocket. It is super fun, and I think for the next one, I will show you how to do it, and we will put 5 of these pockets in here instead of just 3. So let's get started. What you will need your scissors, you will need a ruler, a corner rounder, glue, a circle punch, you need your ink to muck up your corners, a hole punch, and your grommets or eyelets, and whatever you use to set your grommets and eyelets in. You will need the ribbon you're going to use for the closing system, a scoreboard, and a bone folder to get your edges really, really good. And then 6 pieces of cardstock. This one is a little thinner of a piece of paper. You don't want that to be cardstock for this middle part. To get started, we ruler. And of course, it's 12 by 12, so it is 6 inches. So I am just going to put the ever so lightest dot right here at the 6. And we're going to take our 12 by 12 sheet of paper, and because I want this to be exposed as the cover, I'm going to flip this upside down and do this on the back. Now we know exactly where the center of our paper is. And we are going to take this, and we're going to take it to that, where the 6 is. Make sure that 6 is in one of the score lines. We're not going to score it on that 6. What we're going to do is we're going to score it on the score line right next to the 6. And then we're going to go to this score line on the 6 and score it there. Instead of folding it with a crease that's like this, we're going to have just a tiny little squarish part, kind of like a book. And we're going to fold back that second crease. There we go. And now we have kind of like a matchbook. When we have matchbooks, kind of like that. So we're going to open that back up, and we're going to take the left side, and we're going to fold that in probably about an inch. This is going to make up one of our pockets, so we'll leave that there. Now we're going to take this other side, and we're going to fold it over so our crease right here is a little raised. And we're going to make a mark right here at the very edge to show us where our edge of this top sheet is coming over on this one. And that way we know exactly where to fold that one to. That mark that we made is right where our crease is going to be over here. Use your bone folder. I think we're going to cut this down to 6 inches. So that's going to be a little easier to work with. If you want, you can go in and round your corners on this part. And if you want, you can go in with your circle punch, and you can make your little notches for your pockets in here, like that. So that's good enough. Not perfect, but good enough. You can go in here now with your ink and muck up the edges of this part. Now that we have our ink mucked up in here, we can make the closing system for our little booklet. So first we're going to go in here and we're going to measure this. So we know this should be 6 inches wide, which it is. So the closing mechanism, we're going to make 5 3/4 inches long. So we're going to take our thinner sheet that we're going to use for our closing system, and we're going to cut that down to 5 3/4 inches by 12. You're going to take your scoreboard, and you're going to put your paper in here, and you're going to score it at the 1 inch line. And from there, 10 times, we're going to score it every 1/2 inch 10 times. So for however many pages you're putting into it, you're going to do 2 score lines. So since we're doing 5 pages, we're going to do 10 score lines. So every 1/2 inch, you're going to put a score, and you're going to do that until you get to 10. 9, 10. And after we do the 10th one, then we're going to go 1 inch over and do 1 more score line. After you have all these scored, we're going to fold this, kind of like you did when you were a kid when you made a fan. So you're going to go fold that, and we're going to do this one right here up, and we're going to do this one like that. We're going to start this way. And so we're going to go down, up, down. So fold all of your folds until you get to the end, doing it this way. When you get to the end, you should have it looking like that. So you have all these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little things coming up. And you have our 2 flaps. And you're going to cut this very end off. So take your scissors and just cut right where that crease line is. And cut that piece right off. And so you have this. And this is like our fan. So we're going to glue this into our book. So we're going to hold it like this. So we have these 2 flaps at the end. And we're going to squish it. So all the little things are on the inside. And we're going to put glue right here on this side of our flap. And now you're going to take this just like this, and you're going to lay this end to the crease line that's closest to you. You're going to lay it like right next to it, almost on top of it, and you're going to put this down. You're going to make sure that you have this lined up where you want it. And that's where we put that side. And when you're done doing that, you're going to flip this around, and we're going to do the other side. And so we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to put glue on this side, and we're going to lay it down right there on that crease so it sits like that. So this part's glued. So let's do that. now we squish it back here to the seam, get it on there, lay it flat, and glue our piece in there. And so now we have all these little pieces sticking up. And this is how we want it. So each one of these is going to be a page that we are going to glue in here. And we're going to connect the page to it, and then we're going to go to the next one, connect the page, and then we're going to go to the next one, and so on and so forth. So for our pages, remember this is 5 3/4 wide. So for our pages, we need to measure right from our crease on this side to the very edge over here. And we're going to do our page going this way, 3.5. So our pages are going to be 5 3/4 by 3.5. But before we cut our pages, what we are going to do is take our 12 by 12 sheet of cardstock, and we are going to fold this in half. Now you are going to cut this down, and you want it to be like this. When you cut it down, you're going to cut the two pages together. So you're going to, and do not cut this folded edge. So when we cut this, we're going to cut it 5 3/4 going this way, and then we're going to measure it 3.5 going this way and cut it that way. So when you cut it down, it'll look like this. It'll be 5 3/4 this way and 3.5 this way. So if you want, you can round the corners on your edges here. I am going to muck up the edges on the sides and the bottom. We're going to take our book, look at your front page and make sure you have this facing the way that you want so it's up and down the right way. And we're going to put our first page in. So we're going to go over here to our first crease, and we are going to put glue on the front and the back of just this crease. You're going to take your page, you're going to open it up, and we're going to stick that flap in between our two sheets right here. So we're just going to kind of eat it with this page right there on top, just like that. Put that on there, and you glue our page to it. You lay it down to kind of get that on the inside in the middle. And so our page is on there now. And that's one. And we're going to do that to all the rest of the 4 of them. So 5 3/4 by 3.5. After you glue all your pages in, you should have what looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we are going to take our scissors, and we are going to cut just a sliver right at the top of each page where that crease is. So we're just going to cut that crease off so it opens our page up like that. And after we do that, you can, if you'd like, make your little notch before you go in and muck up your edges. And if you would like, you can go in here and round your edges on the ends of your pages before we do the gluing of our pages right here. So that'll be page 1, and now we will open this up, and on page 1, we're going to glue right here at the left, just a little strip of glue on the left, and a little strip of glue on the right. And this will close our page up, making this a pocket. And now your page is a pocket. And after you get all your pages done, like this, then you can decorate the inside. So we will measure this piece on this side, and then we'll measure the other piece on the other side, so we can cover up this white that we have here, if you want. After we have got all of our pages sliced at the very tippy top, so we make them pockets, and we go in and glue them all. You can take your glue and glue your pockets over here shut. So you can take glue on the left and the right, or top and bottom, however you have this sitting, and shut that, just like that. And then you do the same thing to the other side of your book. And you take your book, and you're going to figure out where you want to put your grommet or your eyelet. I am going to put mine up here at the top, kind of in the middle of where the page would be, about right there. You're going to get your grommet, and you put your grommet in, you put the little thing on, and then you take your little grommet pliers or your hammer and grommet setter, and you set your grommet. Now that your grommet is set in there, you can put whatever ribbon you are going to use to tie your thing shut. I am going to put this in here and then cut it down to where I need it. And usually it's about 2.5 times the length of your pocket book you're making. As you can see, this one's really, really long. And now you can take this and wrap one this way and then the other going down this way. So you meet in the middle and you can tie it off. If you tie that off, that's when you can cut off the excess that you have, so it doesn't need to be this long. So you have yourself a little pocketbook that you made with a bunch of little pockets in it. And this is thin enough that you can carry a bunch of stuff in it and then tuck it straight into your journal. You can take your little safety pins if you have them and put them in your little, whatever you're going to use. And you can just put it up in here. You have yourself a cute little dangly charm to hang from it. But these are super fun, and I hope that you enjoyed making these with me. So I hope you enjoyed that. Happy cutting.